Hello, Team New Rise family. Man, it's much bigger when you're doing this from an iPad. But any respect, my head is like filled up the entire screen. All right. JuJuan Buford broadcasting from Maui today. Yes, it's another beautiful day in Maui. And what I want to talk about today is culture. And more specifically, I want to talk about GWC, or what I refer to as GWS, and why that's important, right? And I think it's important for individuals to understand how Team New Horizons came to be, why I made a decision to get involved with PPLSI at the end of the day. And I think it'll help individuals better understand the culture that I set out to build here, right? And, you know, I always talk about the fact that, of course, the economy had gone through a downturn. I talk about how I was looking for a way to take care of my children, despite the, to get through the trials and tribulations, robbing Peter, pay Paul, like everyone else in 2008. And I talked about how PPLSI kind of fell into my lap in many respects. I mean, I wasn't seeking it per se. I was seeking it, but I didn't think it was going to come in the form of PPLSI. I wanted financial independence for my family. I wanted financial independence for people that I love, know, and trust. I wanted to be surrounded by individuals who were financially independent. And why I don't believe entrepreneurship is the answer to everything. I believe it's the answer to most things. I believe entrepreneurship is empowerment. And that the only way to really live a life of freedom and of satisfaction. And satisfaction is if I recall correctly, I think it's a Greco-Roman word. Gotta look it up. Forgive me, I'm still kind of off. Adjusting the Hawaii time versus East Standard Time. Brain's not quite functioning right. Anyway, I think it's a Greco-Roman word. And I do recall the satis, maybe it's a Latin word. Satis means enough, and of course we know action is action, right? Satisfaction. So to live a life of satisfaction, right? In other words, I think most people are like me, at least I would hope, the people I work with, in that I'm not afraid of work. I love work. I think work's a blessing, but I also want something to show for it, right? And I believe entrepreneurship is the way to do that. If you work hard, you should be able to curate what happens at your kitchen table. You should have influence and agency as opposed to the outside your household dictating to you. If you work hard and you're helping people do the right things, I feel like you should be able to curate the experience you enjoy in your neighborhood, whether a liquor store, a rec center, or a Java gym shows up on the corner of the block where you live in. I think you should have control over the politics and the economics in your community, and I believe entrepreneurship is one of the surest ways to make that happen. But that's not why Team New Horizons was formed initially, right? Team New Horizons was formed with, whoa, shit, that bug is so damn big. My God. Bugs in effing Hawaii. Dang, I mean, that dude is big. Anyway, y'all got to see me, like, have a moment, like, do I attack? Or do I just kind of let it do its thing? Anyway, that is going to be infamous. I'm going to post that. Anyway, I don't care, because I don't know how to edit. So, in any respect, that was pretty huge. I mean, that bug was like big as, like, that was a nice sized bug. Anyway, so Team New Rise is born out of the ideal, not even the ideal, out of the commitment and dedication to people being able to have more, people being able to go further, people being able to go harder, people being able to achieve more, people being able to achieve lives of satisfaction. I too often worked in, lived in, operated in, existed in environments where, quite frankly, individuals were oftentimes not rewarded for being dedicated, for hard work, for a desire to help people and lift as they climb. And part of the reason why I set out to establish Team New Horizons was to provide people with fertile ground to do that, right? I believe CEO doesn't stand for Chief Executive Officer. I believe it stands for Create Environments for Opportunity Officer. And that's part of the reason why I set out to establish Team New Horizons. It's the reason why I affiliate with the people that I affiliate. And it's the reason behind everything I do in terms of our organization, is providing an environment where individuals can really live their best lives and turn around and help others do the same thing, lift as we climb. And when I looked into the environment, I wasn't happy about what I saw. To be transparent, I was not happy about what I saw. I'll be real with you. I'm not happy about the fact that I believe there's only 5 or 6 people from Michigan here. I'm not, that I'm aware of. Okay, let me put it that way. I'm definitely not happy with the fact, and I'm just going to be really transparent here, there are not 5 or 6 people who share my youth with me here in Maui. Okay, I'll put it that way, Detroiters. I'm not happy about that. I created Team New Horizons to create an environment for people who, once again, deserve and should be in places like this, who want to do the work and who want to help people and really want to help empower people. And that's why I took a look at PPLSI, and that's why I set out to form Team New Horizons. I wanted to create a culture that's reflective of our uplifting service agreement. If you're not familiar with our uplifting service agreement, we got a problem. You got to check that out, because I'm going to find out sooner or later, one way or the other. You should look at that. That's the culture we're trying to build here. So why did I take this detour all the way around to get to the point, right? Well, what I want to talk about today is GWC, or I like to refer to as GWS, because I've had a lot of questions asked of me in terms of how to onboard people properly and what are steps we should take people through. We want them to have success when they join the organization. And how do we identify individuals' prospects? But even once an individual onboards as an associate, who should we spend time with? And for me, it boils down to GWC or GWS. And what does GWS stand for? Number one, the G stands for, do they get it? Right? I'm always looking, whether someone is a prospect or whether someone's an associate, I'm always looking to see if they get it. And that's going to determine how much energy I pour into you. Do you get it? Right? As part of the GWC, do you get the culture? Do you understand the value of the membership? If I share the membership with someone they're not gung-ho or excited about, and they don't see value in it, well, look, at the end of the day, those of us who are successful at this business as PPLSI entrepreneurs, we're members first. We're card-carrying members who see value in the service, utilize the service, so we have the tenacity and the courage and the confidence to go out and talk about it. You don't need to take a million different trainings and classes. You should, because you're a professional, and you should want to sharpen the saw and become more effective at explaining the value proper, understanding the value proper, understanding the nuances of membership, so you're better able to empower people. But look, at the end of the day, to share the PPLSI story, you do not need to be a master right out the gate. Use the service. See value in the membership. That's important. So before I onboard someone, I need to hear excitement. I need to hear enthusiasm. I need to hear everyone should have this. I firmly believe there is no one that cannot be benefited by this service. Everyone can be benefited. I don't care if you earn $20 million a year or if you earn $20,000 a year. This service has value. And dogs don't bark at parked cars. If you're progressing in life, if you're making important decisions, it makes sense to seek the counsel of individuals who, quite frankly, mentor and converse with and engage and advise other individuals who have very deep pockets, okay? It just makes sense to be able to do that. Oftentimes, you're not going to get as far. Your talent, intellect, hard work takes you places, no doubt. It wins you a lot of games. But at the end of the day, teams win championships. And we surround our members. We're surrounded by a phenomenal team of thousands of attorneys and business consultants, and if we take into account our leadership and home office, I mean thousands and thousands and thousands of individuals who want to see us succeed. And we need people to understand that people need to get that. They need to appreciate that. You don't find that every day in corporate America. You don't find that every day in the job where you can meet with complete strangers and know that they are just committed to your success. Sometimes more committed than you are. And we need to make sure people get that. If a person is not willing to look at that uplifting service agreement and then eventually look, and if you haven't signed it, I'm coming for you as well. Majority of people I work with personally, not only do you have to review it, you have to sign it. And if I find out you have not signed it, made an effort to get it to me, we have problems. That's going to determine how much time I spend with you. This is what GWC is about. You want to spend your time with people who get it. You want to spend your time with members who get it. You want to spend your time with associates who get it, who understand the culture of celebrating, edifying, and protecting. We don't lead with this. A lot of people talk. A lot of people talk. A lot of people run their mouths what they're going to do. Going to do is on my calendar. Someday is on my calendar. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is on my calendar. Not someday, one day. Okay, that's not on my calendar. So those someday people, if you're about that life, you don't get the fact that, part of showing your appreciation for what we do here at Team New Horizons and PPLSI at large is production. and not just chirping and talking, doing the exposures, leading with activity. I didn't say leading. I said leading with activity. That's how we determine leadership here. Being committed to personal development. Being committed to celebrating the success of others, edifying those, and particularly the system and the culture and the leadership, and then protecting what it is that we're building here, right? These things are critical, and these are things that I'm looking at to see whether or not a person gets it. In the beginning, are you using the membership? In the beginning, have you looked at the uplifting service agreement? In the beginning, are you excited about the opportunity to take this service to the marketplace and genuinely help other people? So that's part of getting it, right? And I could go a little bit further, but those are some of the telltale signs I look for to see if a person gets it. Are they showing up on our text messages? Are they showing up, I'll be honest, in our chats, on Slack? I don't want to say about that. On Facebook, and celebrating other people, interacting, engaging, asking questions in public forums so the team can benefit, not just you, right? Those things I'm looking for. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm looking for signs of that. And if you don't exhibit those things, I'm going to get scarce. That's part of GWC, and that's what I'd encourage everyone to do. This opportunity is too good, but we don't have forever. Time is not finite, okay? So, also you don't want to be thirsty either. But I'll come back to that another time. What does the W stand for in GWC? Do they want it? Do they want to be accountable? People can respect it. People can appreciate it. They say, wow, y'all doing phenomenal. It's great. They don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be accountable to the trainings. They don't want to be accountable to the uplifting service agreement. They don't want to take the fast start training. They don't want to schedule an open house or a PBR. They want to do it their way. Now, look, we're not in the business of creating failure stories. We're in the business of creating success stories. That's why we press the system so hard. It's about creating success stories. And if a person isn't willing to exercise fidelity to the system, they don't want to be accountable. You got to let them go, right? Part of finding out whether or not a person even wants to be accountable to what we're doing, when you send them a video, do they look at it? This is even before they onboard as an associate. Yeah, pay attention to these things. I say, look, I'm going to send you some information. You say, yeah, I want to take a look at it. I said, grab a file view at this time. Sure that works? Yeah, that works. Sure that works? Yeah, that works. Sure that works? Yeah, that works. And then I show up at the time to talk to you. You still haven't looked at the video. You are telling me indirectly your level of commitment and interest in what we're doing here. Yeah, there are telltale signs in the beginning. Before a person onboards as an associate, 9 times out of 10, I send an uplifting service agreement. Have they looked at it? No. Oh, they're already telling me they're not willing to be accountable. I made it clear as day. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200 unless you sign this uplifting service agreement. They still don't even look at it. They don't even make an attempt to access it. Well, look, you're telling me once again, indirectly, that you don't want to be accountable. You know, we ask you to look at a training or look at something that can help orient you before you get started. You don't, once again, look at the information. See, it's telltale signs. I invite you to a momentum call, maybe so you get an idea what the culture is, our marathon momentum call. You don't want to check it. Okay. You ain't got time for it. Okay. In other words, you don't have time to build this business. You don't want to be accountable. I give you a tool. So, oh, I can't wait to tell other people. I said, no, don't tell other people about it. Do the same thing I did with you. Share the tool with them. Works a lot better. And then I end up talking to you. I find out you done ran them out to all your family and friends. You basically done poison the water because now they feel like they've been sold to. Well, you could have just eventually shared the tool with them, actually made the ground more fertile and ripe for a 3-way approach, right? Which is another telltale sign as to whether or not a person wants to be accountable. Are they using tools? Are they utilizing 3 ways? Are they relying on the culture that we're building here? Are they relating on the organizational, social evidence that we're building here? Or are they just trying to be a lone ranger and do it themselves? Now, that may work in business solutions, but to be transparent with you, I work business solutions. I probably work more intimately with associates in business solutions than I do building a direct selling organization. We interact very intimately. We get to know each other very well. So hell, that doesn't even work, right? So I'm looking for those telltale signs. And if you're not showing up correct, then it's going to be a problem. If you're not showing up enthusiastic, you're not showing up excited, if you're not doing the personal development, if you're not looking at the videos, do you want to be accountable? It's the end of the month. Other people are running for executive director. They're running for senior director. They're running for rank advancement. You decide you're going to take the last 3-4 days off the month because you just don't feel like it. Your production matters, whether it's one membership or one exposure, because there's somebody. 5. All right. Had to move to a different location. Signal's dying. So in any respect, yeah, somebody else is running for something in the organization. Somebody's taking aim at something. And the bottom line is, your production matters. Your participation matters. Because at some point, it's going to be you. You're going to be running for a manager. You're going to be running for senior director. You're going to be running for executive director. And there are going to be individuals in your organization that you don't have a relationship with. They don't even know you. You don't know them. Ideally, if you're growing your business properly, that's what you want to see happen. At some point, your organization should grow away from you, right? Well, you want those individuals to be just as committed to the system and the process as you are. And if you set the tone, if you set the culture, if you set the habit of being lackadaisical with your business, that's what you're going to recruit. You know, the funny thing about this business is a mirror. If things aren't going a certain kind of way with your team or with individuals whom you work with, the first person you look at is you. Are you showing up? Do you get it? Are you being accountable? Right? Are you practicing GWC? Because if you're not, it's a false expectation to believe you're going to onboard people or attract people who are. Game recognizes game. So if you're being lackadaisical with your business, if you're hemming and hawing about your business, you don't understand that how your production and how your activity and your commitment to your business impacts the leadership around you. Once again, when you get to a point where you're fortunate and blessed enough to be of service to others and to create environments and opportunities for others, but they're not performing, which means you're not performing, then you got what you created. You need to be aware of that. That's part of GWC, wanting to be accountable to other people. This is not a solo business. I'm sorry. If that's what you want to be a solopreneur, you want to be in a situation where 100% of your income is forever predicated upon 100% of just your effort, okay, go do that. And it's going to be hard to become financially independent that way. But look, if you're about that life, we're all independent entrepreneurs here. So, you know, at the end of the day, this is your business. You own it. You can decide what you want to do with it. But I would encourage you to follow the system and practice accountability in your business. And that's what this is all about. And then last but not least, do they have the skills? Right? GWS, or some people say GWC. Do they have the capacity? Do they have the skills and the capacity to do the work? Now look, I mean, come on, man. My 4-year-old, my 7-year-old can do the work. Now, they've done it. We've been out in public and I've watched them say, hey, Daddy does A, B, C, and D. You should look at this. That's what we do. We tell stories. We invite people to learn about what it is we're doing. The individuals who, quite frankly, give the best presentations are not always the winners. Matter of fact, I've seen from personal experience, the individuals who give the best presentations, oftentimes, more often than not, come up short. Because the individuals who are actually conducting exposures, the individuals who are actually doing the activity on a daily basis, they tend to win in our business. And so, you know, I wanted to share that in terms of capacity and skills. You know, really it's a desire to be accountable. It has nothing to do with it, capacity and skills. Everyone can learn to do what it is we do. You can't convince me. I'm here on this performance club trip in Maui, and I've seen every socioeconomic background, every handicap you can think of. I've seen it. Individuals who have no business acumen whatsoever out here crushing it because of this incredible system that we have. So I just think it's very rare, if not impossible, to find someone who does not have the skill set to be successful in our business, but they do have to have the will and the desire to be accountable to it. So that's what GWC is. And, you know, once again, attending the trainings, that is part of developing skills. Now, if they're not willing to, I guess you could say that, right? If a person isn't willing to attend the trainings, if they're not willing to get on a momentum call, they're not willing to get on the training calls, they're not willing to take advantage of specialized trainings that are taking place in leadership, whether it be B2B, CDLP, group, corporate accounts, things like that. You're not willing to do that. You're not willing to level up. Well, I guess that could be a problem because you're not developing the skills and you're not growing. I guess if you're not doing personal development, you don't have skills, you're not growing either, because it's a people business. You got to understand people, you got to understand how to communicate with them, got to understand how to empathize with them. You got to be able to help people come to a point of decision, as opposed to feeling like being sold. You want to be in a position where people are more inclined to be informed and they feel comfortable being informed by you. So I guess that's where you come up short in terms of skills if you're not willing to do those things. So these are the things I pay attention to. You want to know how to decide who to text and who not to, who to call, who not to. Who do I add to a particular email group, or who do I add to Slack, et cetera, or invite to Slack? These are the things I'm paying attention to, right? So if you want to know, this is it. And this is a mindset that I'd encourage us all to adopt, right? You don't want to be thirsty out here. You don't want to be creating failure stories. I'm just being real. Now look, every dud can lead you to a stud, but not even the dud should fail. Everyone who comes to this organization should have the same opportunity to fast start qualify. If you're not familiar with our onboarding tool, we literally have a website. Did you know that? An onboarding tool, onboarding website that is provided to new individuals who onboard, so you can see whether or not they are practicing GWC. It makes it real simple. It's just step by step. Of course, you know, PPLSI Corporate created the 1, 2, 3 first step training. Everyone can do that too. If a person isn't willing to do that, something's wrong. They're not in line with GWC. These are the things you need to take into account when you're building. So I went on a lot longer as opposed to between the bug and having to move. This was an experience. Look, y'all, I took the time to do this because I'm so concerned. I'm excited, but I'm concerned. I want to see more people here. I want to see more of the team here. I want to see more of our team from Atlanta. I want to see more of our team from Detroit. I want to see more of our team from Phoenix. I want to see more of our team from Dallas. I want to see us here. And it hurt my heart just a tiny bit that, I'm just being real, hurt my heart just a tiny bit that more of us weren't here. I got into this business because I want to wake up one day and take a trip like this, and I want to call up my friends. I want to call up my people. I want to call up people I work with. The only thing I want to hear people say is, look, give me time to pack my toothbrush. I don't have time. I don't want to hear any reasons why we cannot take trips like this together. This is part of the deal. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to reward yourself. This is part of the rewards. And we're fortunate that we're affiliated with a company that's willing to do this for us. So, all right, with that being said, now I'm finally signing off. It's time to get some breakfast. Celebrate success in advance.